Hello everyone and welcome back to a battle report on Bot War 2nd edition, the Turbo edition, playing on the other variant of the map you get if you buy the cardboard scenery / map set, which was provided to the channel for free. This one looks more like an airport, whereas the other one is more like a busy city, so there's a lot of open space in the middle of the map because of the runways. Added a building in the middle to be like central control, and also just to provide a little bit more cover because I feel like it needed it. But we'll be trying this map today, featuring two new teams to the channel that haven't been in the series before, one of which is from the 2nd edition starter set that we'll talk about in a second, and one of which has been around since the 1st edition, although they have been rebalanced for the 2nd edition. So it's Beastlords versus C.O.I.L.S today, and with that we'll go over the teams and then look at the scenario that we'll be playing on the map you can see before you. So the Beastlords are a very powerful faction in Bot War, and as a result you never get too many of them because they're worth quite a lot of points each. These are old version 1 Bot War cards I printed out back in the day because you can get them and print them for free on the website. You can also get the Bot War 2 versions, so I've just updated these. The only difference for the 3 people we're featuring today is that their point values have come down slightly, which makes it a bit easier to create a team using the available Beastlords you have. Unfortunately, with the ones we have finished here already, even with the point reductions, there still wasn't enough room to fit in a 4th bot in a 70 point game because the 2nd edition starter set comes with 70 points of coils. So had to take a couple of upgrades to balance out the points, but we have Tyrannos, who's the cheapest, down to 17, used to be 19 points in version 1, providing 3 cubes. We have Brontus, who used to be 27 points, down to 22, also providing 3 points, and has a pointless upgrade as it turns out. Gave him Ancient Enmity, which gives him a better rule when fighting someone with the Combiner special rule. Forgot that Combine and Symbiote, which we'll talk more about in a second when we look at the other side, is not the same thing, so it's actually going to do nothing here, unfortunately. Then we have Tyrannos, who normally provides 3. He's at a 2-point reduction since 1st edition. He's been given the Inner Power upgrade, which gives him an extra energy cube in the pool, so that's why there's a 4th one there. All of them have the Superior Being rule, so they can maintain their ults for only 1 cube instead of 2. 2 of them have Armoured Might, 1 of them has air support, and also ground-to-air missiles, so they get a bunch of bonuses to aerial units. I think there's at least 1 aerial unit in the other side, we'll check in a second. And besides that, they have like combat scimitars, pure purpose, so they can't be mind controlled, not that that's relevant here. And yeah, there's only 3 of them, but they all have at least 9 or at least 8 health. 9 health each, 8 health, and pretty decent stats all said and done. So it's a little bit harder to fit in the C.O.I.L.S side because there are so many of them compared to the Beastlords. We've got 2, 4, 6, 7 of them, and this is the complete half in the 2nd edition starter set, which was provided to the channel for free. The Beastlords were purchased, these were provided for free, and painted them up. 2 of them are very weak though, so that will probably balance out, and as I say, this is exactly 70 points worth. With upgrades, I think the Beastlords came to 68 or 69 offhand. So going from left to right, they're in strategy rating order as well, from quickest to slowest. We've got Forked Tongue, who's sticking to his cards. He's providing 2 cubes. Then we have Deep State, who's got a cannon on his shoulder. He is also providing 2 cubes. Then we have 2 little guys who have the Symbiote rule. They are both providing 2 power. And if they maintain their stealth ult for 2 cubes, they get to be inside a miniature that has the host rule, which is, well, later on. We also have Slaughter here, who's kind of like a tank. He's got the blast rule, provides 3 cubes. Then we have the big one. This is, what's his name? His name is Shogun. And he has the host rule, so when the game starts, as long as they are willing to spend 2 cubes each, they are going to be hidden inside him. Now they have to come out before he dies, or they'll die with him, but that shouldn't be a problem because he's pretty tough. I think he has 9 health? 8 health. 8 health. And then finally at the end there, which is not quite viewable, we do have their air support unit that I was talking about. Actually, so is Shogun. He can turn into a plane as well. We have Raven, who does not have a lot of health, and is providing 2 cubes as well. So they've definitely got the numbers advantage, but as I say, these 2 will not be on the field to start with, but they do have to pay their cube cost to be able to do that, so that's 2 gone from the pool, potentially other people doing things. We'll get both sides set up and then go over the mission and some corrections from last time. Alright, we are all set up and good to go. You can kind of see the coil deployment ahead of you. Again, the 2 small host or symbiote robots are inside Shogun, who's to the far right. Today we're going to be doing scenario 4 from the Bot War 2 rulebook, which is Assassinate. I remember this one from the first version, it's quite fun. So each faction has to identify one key model, and that's your main target, but you get points depending on how much HP other kills have. So it's select one model that has the highest strategy rating. So for the Beastlords it's Tyrannos, because he is strategy rating 6, whereas Brontus is 2 and Dactylus is 1. And then for the other side, it has to be the highest, which means that it is not Shogun, because he is strategy rating 8, I believe, and Raven is strategy rating 9, so he's the target. But you do have other ways to gain points. If you manage to kill the VIP marked target, you get 5, and depending on how much HP someone else has, you can get various. 1 victory point if they have 4 health or less, 2 if they have 5 to 6, 4 if they have 7 or more. Most victory points at the end of 8 turns wins, or at the point in which one side is wiped out, I suppose. So the picture in the rulebook actually says this should be played on like a forest type map, but this will hopefully do. And if we pull back a little bit, turn the camera, you can see that there isn't much down here for the Beastlords to hide behind. So they're basically just in a line, and with that, both sides have a strategy rating 1 unit, and because there's no Valence, we'll just be doing a roll off with a d6 to see who goes first, and then be back. It will be the Coils going first for strategy rating 1, but I did forget to mention the corrections from last time. The main one that would have made a difference being that you can't charge into close combat with a target you can't see when you start your activation. You can move and shoot them, but you can't charge them, which would have made a difference. So try and remember that going forward. There was also a rules query coming up about the electric magnetic gun, whatever that was called, and adding an extra die, does it also become a crit? It stays a normal die, apparently. So I think that was the only two things, the two major things from last time. So with that, we can get started. Forked Tongue got the game started for the Coil side. You can see him to the bottom right of your screen. That's where he ended up after spending a total of 2 cubes on 2 basic moves. He moves 7 inches with each. He's using that central building there for cover, because it's the only cover available, and I don't really think that's meant to be there as well. So this is a very different feel of a map to the city side, where the city side was very densely covered. This side is very sparse with cover, so it's much more of kind of like a brawl. So I think for the Beastlords to have a chance, their initial assault on the enemy is going to have to be good, or they're just going to get whittled down. So strategy rating 1 Dactylus activated for the Beastlords, moved up. He moves 8, which put him on the far side of the central control building there, and within 10 inches to do a short range attack on Forked Tongue. 3 attack dice at normal range, hit for 4, and if we come over here, we can see that of his 3 shield dice, he only rolled 2, didn't have anything to boost, so he's taken 2 damage of his 6 health. Deep State moved out of cover. He's an SR2, so he's next in line to go, and did a long range shot downfield at Dactylus. Lost 1 die for long range, rolled 3 on the 2 he had left, and if we pull back ever so slightly, and by ever so slightly I mean a lot, we can see that Dactylus has blocked all of it and taken no damage. Brontus activated next because he's also an SR2. I'm surprised he's so quick thinking considering his lumber size, but he moved up 7 inches, gave him a line of sight for a close range attack, and he rolled his 3 range dice, managed to get a 6, and on the defense only 2, so that's 4 damage. So unfortunately already that is Forked Tongue destroyed. Now his 6 health, let's just double check how many points that's actually worth to them. Because he had between 5 and 6, that is 2 victory points to the Beastlords. But now they don't get to activate for a while. Their last activation to Tyrannos is strategy rating 6. So let's see what the Coil can do to make up for their loss already. The Beastlords aren't actually going to have to wait as long for another activation as I thought, because Core Drill and Mineshaft, who are the 2 little guys, they're still inside Shogun. They're just paying their cost to remain in there, so the fact that their strategy ratings 3 each does not matter. They just essentially pass their turn while staying hidden and safe inside a much tougher robot. So then it goes to Slaughter. He is SR6. He spent 2 cubes in total to move a total of 14 inches, and has moved where you can see him. He's the guy with the big kind of cannon or missile on his back there, because I think they want to pick on Dactylus first. He seems the weakest of the 3. So Tyrannos activated, and this is the last activation for the Beastlords in Battle Round 1. He moved up 7 for spending 1 cube as his first action, but he also activated his ult, Armoured Might, which costs 2, but keep in mind he had an extra cube. He generated 4 and he held on to all of them, which does a bunch of stuff and should definitely have been used last time. It adds an extra crit die to ranged attacks, but you can only ever attack short range, but he got just within 10, so that's exactly what he did, and you can see the roll results there. It also lets you swap out a shield die for a crit, and in close combat you get an extra crit die for a total of 2. So it makes him powerful, and because of the superior being rule that I mentioned earlier, they only need to spend 1 cube to maintain the ability, not 2. So he can keep it on pretty much forever now, as long as he's alive, so he's doing that. And as you can see, he rolled a 6 in total for his attack against, I keep forgetting his name, Slaughter. How could you forget a name like Slaughter? But Slaughter did well with his defense and blocked 5, so he only took 1 damage. Shogun stomped forwards from between the buildings next and did a long range attack against Dactylos, losing a die as a result. Only rolled 2, which is not great. And if we pan down here, we can see Dactylos easily blocked it with a 5. Last activation for Battle Round 1 for the Coils was Raven, and he is the high strategy rating, so he's the target for assassination. He's not tough, he only has 4 health, so he has opted to do the very brave thing of hiding behind the building here. He moves a massive 10 inches, so he did that twice just to, well, not even 2 full moves, but 1 and a bit just to get him hidden behind the bulk of his force. And yeah, that's it for Battle Round 1. In Battle Round 2, the Coils host units will be coming out to play, and that might give them the swing they need because they're already a man down, which is going to affect their total energy pool for Battle Round 2. So as we start Battle Round 2, both sides still have an SR1 unit, so we rolled off again to see who takes priority. Not sure if you're supposed to just do that once and then keep that for the entire game, but it seems fairer to do it every time. So as a result of the roll, the Beastlords will be activating first, and that is Dactylos, who gets to do some damage before Coils get to react. So Dactylos moved up ever so slightly, using the side of the building there for partial cover potentially, depending on where anyone decides to come from, and then initiated an attack on Shogun, because Shogun is air support, and that means his ground-to-air missile special rule kicks in. So he counts as sharpshooter against air targets, so he gets a reroll on a die, and preferred target or something I think it's called. I'm blanking on another rule. It just means that you can shoot at long range and have it count at short range. He boosted his attack for 1 extra power die. Shogun boosted his defense for 1 extra shield die. The attack roll was pretty decent, 7, and the block from Shogun was 4, so he has taken 3 damage, but he's still kicking. So of course totally forgot that the Coils have actually lost their SR1. He died in turn 1. But of the SR2s, they did win the roll-off to go first. It's Deep State who is the one in between the 2 larger lads there, and he initiated 2 close-range attacks on Dactylos. Condensed the dice just to show the results, so we can show you both of those rolls together. He did boost his first attack for an extra die. Dactylos had nothing left, so it was just flat 3 shield dice each time. His first roll was really good, got 6. Dactylos blocked 2, so he took 4 damage. Next attack was 4 damage. Dactylos, 4 shield. But still hurt. He took 4 damage of his 8 health. So he's halfway to dead. And now it is time for Brontus to activate. Oh, that was almost an amazing turn for Brontus. He walked up using half that building just again for potential cover depending on where shots might come from. Spent a boosted short range attack on Slaughter, who also spent to boost his shield. It didn't help that much. He only ended up blocking 2 of what was a fantastic attack roll of 8. So he took 6, meaning that he is alive on 1 HP. So he's hanging in there, but it's by a thread. So SR3's next, and the hosted units inside Shogun decided it was time to come out and play. And they did indeed. You have to place them within 2 inches of their host if they don't want to maintain their stealth ability, which they didn't. They only had 1 cube each. So they could only do 1 range attack each, and they only have 1 ranged die each. So we're going to condense both their activations into one, cover what they rolled here. To be honest, I don't remember which one is which, but let's see their names here. Core Drill and, what was it, Mineshaft. 1 damage was blocked by 1 success. 2 damage blocked by 2 success. Dice were condensed on the shield side just to show both results quickly, but Both times, Dactylos managed to roll exactly what was required to not take any damage, so he's still hanging in there again. So of the SR6s, it was Tyrannos to activate first. We're going to have to do his turn in 2 splits just because of not having enough dice. From where he stood, he did a short range attack. Oh, sorry, he paid 1 to maintain the upkeep of Armoured Might using Superior Being. Short range attack with the crit thrown in at Slaughter. Rolled massively well. I just realised you can't see Slaughter's defence. Condensed it down thinking there was enough dice. He only rolled 2 successes, meaning that he took 7 damage. Is that 4, 5, 6, 7? Yep, he took 7 damage. So he is very much dead. And he had, it was 7 or 8 HP, which means that they have now scored for each model destroyed with 7 damage points or over on their stat card. They scored another 4 on him dying, and he still has another cube left to spend on another action, so we'll be back in a second. Well, for his other action, he wanted to commit a war crime of picking on one of the poor little youngling robots over there, the small ones, but his attack roll was a disaster. 3 successes, all said and done. 2 shield dice on Mineshaft, or whatever they're called. Yeah, it is Mineshaft. And he fully blocked it. 4 block against 3 damage, so he lived. And that's the turn for Beastlords. But we still have, 3 activations for the coils? So it's actually only 2 activations left for coils. I forgot Deep State had already activated earlier in the turn. Shogun activated. He spent his first cube to charge into close combat against Dactylos, and then did a close combat attack with his other action. Extra crit die thrown in for it being a close combat attack. He did very well and got a 7. Dactylos managed to block 3 of it. Unfortunately, that 4 damage is exactly enough that Dactylos is the first of the 3 Beastlords to fall, and just like that, it was looking really good for them, but they just lost 33% of their offensive strength. And because he had, 8 health, that is 4 victory points for Coils, meaning just like that, they have almost caught up. So very aware that he's worth 5 victory points to the Beastlords. Raven activated and is just staying hidden behind these buildings. He's right on the edge of a table there after kind of like another move and a half. He's there if he desperately needs to try and get like 1 HP off someone, but for now he's just hiding. And with that, we are done with Battle Round 2. Beastlords are only ahead by 2 victory points now, and we are jumping into Battle Round 3. An absolutely disastrous start to the turn for Coils. Both sides have SR2s, rolled off again. This time the Beastlords took it, so Brontus activated, moved round from the building where you can see him, then initiated a close range attack on Shogun, whose shield roll, as you can already tell, was pretty appalling. He took 5 damage, which is exactly how much HP he had left. So Shogun is gone, and because of his 8 HP maximum, I think that's another 4 victory points to the Beastlords, and the very large, impressive miniature off the table. Now, a little side note about Brontus, he has a special rule called Earthquake that I don't fully understand in the rulebook. It says you can forgo rolling dice on a ranged attack to deal 1 damage to every model. Does it mean every model you've targeted? Can you split fire in this? Or does it mean literally he's using like an Earthquake ability to shake the entire battlefield and deal 1 damage to everybody? Which sounds pretty cool, but don't know if that's what that means, so we'll need to seek clarification later. Either way, he definitely did something that mattered right there. So this is why you should never write off a little guy. Deep State activated for the Coils. Of the dice used here, there wasn't actually a crit, it's just ran out of purple dice, so using a crit to represent the results. Dice have been condensed again because Brontus rolls 4 shield dice, but that did not help him against 2 exceptionally good close range boosted attack rolls. So normally he'd be rolling 3 dice, he was rolling 4 because they were boosted, but condensed down, his first attack resulted in 6 damage coming in against 4 shields. He took 2 damage as a result. The second lot though, 8 damage versus 1 block means he took 7. In total he took 9, and that is Brontus dead. From healthy to dead. He didn't have the power to activate Armoured Might. Tyrannos still has, but he didn't, and maybe should have done that. He would have only been able to do 1 action on his turn if that was the case, but he is out of there, unfortunately. Deep State just iced him. And that is another 4 victory points as well for Coils. So just like that, both sides are running out of miniatures. The game of Bot Wars never goes the turn limit, that's for sure. So Mineshaft is activating of the SR3s, that's the purple one. Firing from where he's standing twice with just 1 ranged attack die. He actually rolled not too bad, got 2 on the first shot, 3 on the second. Tyrannos is rolling 4 shield dice. He only managed to get 1 success on his first one, so he actually did take 1 damage. He did, however, fully block the second. So with that 1 damage, he's down to 8 health remaining. But now, the Cordrill, is that what he's called? I keep forgetting that one's name. Cordrill, yes. Cordrill is going to be doing the exact same thing. And Cordrill also rolled very well, but not well enough. His first attack was a 3, of which it was all blocked, and then his second attack a 2, and it was very comfortably blocked, so thankfully they are done. And now I think we're on to the duels of the SR60s. So Winnow Shogun's gone, so it might just be Tyrannos without a roll. Well, we're sticking with this angle because for Tyrannos' turn he just wanted to thin the herd a little bit. He shot, again he's maintaining Armoured Might, so that's why he's getting that crit die thrown in. Can only shoot short range, but they're both within 10 just. He shot at Mineshaft and rolled very high, that's what, 9 against 2 shield, so they only have 4 health. So that is him gone, and then he had 1 power cube left over, so he boosted this attack. Dice have been condensed because of how many purple dice you get. Did a 7 in total versus 2 shield, 5 damage. Again, they have 4 health. So he took out both of the little problems. They only have 4 health though, so they're only worth 1 victory point each, so that's a total of 2 more. We're going over to Raven now to end off the round, and it's currently 12 playing 8 in the Beastlords' favour now. Well, given that there's a combined total of 3 miniatures left on the table, Raven decided it might be time to actually try and do something, even though he is very fragile, as they say. He hopped up onto the building and did a ranged attack, short range, on Tyrannos, managed to get 4 through, but the 4 shield dice said no. So that does take us to the end of the round. It's going to be a very quick next round, which also could be the final round if Tyrannos gets hit enough. I think if he takes out the VIP, the assassinate target, Raven up there, that would probably mean even if he got taken out, the Coils couldn't catch up points wise, but we'll see how it plays out. So as we start the next battle round, Deep State is the fastest by far at SR2, but totally forgot when Tyrannos was rolling for his shields. Armoured Might is still on, so he should have been exchanging 1 shield die for a crit die. That might have made a difference to the 1 damage he's taken so far. There's no way to be sure. Just have to remember going forwards. Either way, Deep State moved forwards and did a short range attack on Tyrannos. Does not have enough energy cubes on the team to boost it, really. And did manage to roll well, got 6. And on the shield roll, only a 3, 4, 5. So there's 1 more damage to Tyrannos, but he is still very much standing. And it's his turn now, I think. Well, Tyrannos stayed where he was, upkept Armoured Might again, giving him 3 power because he's been generating 4. He spent 2 immediately to do a range attack, but he powered it up. And condensed dice, just to show the result, he got a total of 6. Raven, he only has 4 health, but he has really good defense. He rolls 4 shielded dice and managed to block 5 on his first effort, so he only took 1 damage there. Unfortunately for him though, Tyrannos' second roll, with this is all the dice, was much better. He didn't boost that one either, so that's what, 10, of which he blocked 4, meaning he took 6. So Raven just got picked off, fell down the back of the building, and he was the assassination target, so he is worth 5, taking them up to 17. We might as well just see who wins out of Tyrannos and Deep State. But even if Deep State kills him, the 5 points he'll gain for Tyrannos dying for also being the assassination target is not enough to make them win. But we might as well see what happens. So this is just for the spectacle at this point, but why not? Deep State stayed where he was, did 2 close range attacks on Tyrannos to start this turn. Dice condensed down to show all results. First roll was really good, he got 5 versus a total of 3 block. So that is 2 more damage, leaving Tyrannos on 5 health remaining. Next attack, 4 damage, fully blocked by the Armoured Might and the extra shields. Tyrannos, he could just charge in, I suppose. He's better in close combat, he's rolling more dice, and he has a combat scimitar. And Deep State has Iron Skin as well, which I believe forces a reroll of a success against him, ranged attack wise. Let's see. So because of the sheer number of dice he's going to roll, Tyrannos went in and initiated a close combat attack. Normally 4 close combat dice, 1 extra crit thrown in for it being close combat. He gets another crit thrown in because of the Armoured Might rule, and he boosted it for another extra attack die as well. That said, his roll wasn't actually that great for how many he rolled. That's what, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's 10. 3 shield dice from Deep State. He blocked 3 of it, meaning he takes 7. he has exactly 7 HP. So, when it comes down to the both of them, if he'd gotten another 2 shots off, I think he would have taken out Tyrannos. But the victor of this day, the sole survivor on the table, is Tyrannos. So a new King of the Hill has been crowned. The Beastlords are taking the victory today against C.O.I.L.S, but only barely. He had 5 health left. Deep State seemed to be really good at shooting, and I think getting in there in close combat was the right bet. I actually totally forgot about his combat scimitar as well, which I believe would have given him another reroll. Even after mentioning it as well, let's quickly check. Combat scimitar can reroll up to 2 attack dice, so he could have rerolled a couple of those 1s on the crits. Okay, there you go, yeah. He was... Oh, I just realised you can't see. 2 1s became a 1 and a 3. So, yes, Deep State was very dead. Totally forgot about the combat scimitar. So that was 2 new factions on the table. One in the 2nd edition starter set, so they're like very new. And Beastlords have been around for a while, but first time seeing them and using them. Very different. It's so weird having so few units, but each one is very strong. You could still just get spiked out of the table like Brontes was. It can happen. But if you manage them a bit better, keep them in cover, attack when you know you can take someone out, or like statistics are in your favour, they can eat smaller units alive, as you saw there. I think Tyrannos killed... I keep on going between Tyrannos and Tyrannos. I think he killed at least 4 people. Well, definitely at least 4, maybe 5. I can't remember who killed Shogun. But the coils, they did fine. It's just... underestimated the strength of the Beastlords. I kind of thought there's only 3 of them, just gang up on them and then dice are eventually going to roll in your favour, but it didn't work out that way, and at least this time. Dice luck going the other way? Could have. Anyway, I sincerely hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to still see more Bot War on the channel, do let me know in the comments, and if you have any specific questions about the game, hopefully the developer of it will see this and go into the comments and answer your questions directly. And I link the website so you can learn more about it as well, including stockists for your country if you don't want to buy direct from Australia. But yeah, give it a look, and I did an unboxing of the full 2nd edition. There is a Valiant team in that box as well that we get painted up eventually, in theory. Thank you for watching this one though, hope you enjoyed, and see you in the future. Ta-ta for now.